'Cause I can't make you Larp me if you don't. The idea of NPCs, or non-playable characters, is such an odd concept in Larp. By their very definition as non-playable characters, they shouldn't have anyone play them, yet here we are in Larp having real people play them. In other words, the actual wording of NPCs shouldn't be taken so literally, which I'll explain with my big brain in this very video, so get ready, cause I'm gonna show you how to Larp. As mentioned before, the idea of an NPC in LARPs is weird. In video games, they're just characters you don't play, the allies you help, and the enemies you fight. In tabletop RPGs, they're the characters that your game master controls, but for LARPs, they're controlled directly by the individuals. Some people will argue all day that you can't have NPCs in LARPs, but to them I say they're dumb, and that the definition of NPCs isn't to be taken so literally in the context of LARPs. And if you want to argue the etymology of something, maybe pick a battle that doesn't involve man-sized adults running around waving foam swords at each other. And if my pronunciation of etymology bugs you, then you're not the only one. Anyways, to me an NPC is someone who has a specific predefined role in the world of the game. Now don't get me wrong, the normal players can be the rough equivalents of protagonists and antagonists, but it's the NPCs that give structure and filling to the narrative cake. To put it another way, they're the folks with a script that they have to follow. Oftentimes, NPCs are the monsters that you slay en masse before respawning. Despite looking exactly the same, the one that respawns is supposed to be a completely different monster, so even if you have only 5 goblins running around, it's actually an army of 500, and the other 495 have just gotten lost until one of the original 5 happens to conveniently die. If you want to be a monster NPC, then it's usually an easy way to focus on the more combat side of things while ignoring things like being diplomatic or friendly with other players. You don't have to roleplay as much and just focus on fighting, a sort of violent training wheel, if you will. Sure, you can bring some backstory and character to your NPC, but we all know that they're just going to be stabbed and looted at the end of the day, so don't even worry about it. To that end, who's the real monster? The answer is whoever has monster written on their character sheet. Duh. But if your LARP doesn't use a character sheet, then how do you tell? The answer is whoever has to use a combination of more than 3 pieces of prosthetics/makeup to represent their races, or a full face mask, which for this purpose counts as 3 pieces of prosthetics/makeup. Wearing 2 bits of pointy ears, you're lucky it's not 3, but I'm watching you, elf. Have 2 horns and red skin? Then you're clearly a demonic monster. An NPC's role is to facilitate and create such structure for the world to make it feel more alive. NPCs are essentially the background or side characters. They can be the king who gives quests to the courageous adventurers, or the baker on the street selling their wares. Generally, LARP systems either make friendly NPCs either super vulnerable and easy to kill, or super invincible, going as far as to create an anti-violence field often enforced by magic. Which of course means that everyone is going to try and find loopholes and ways around it so they can fulfill their fantasies of being murder hobos. If you're just starting out in LARP, then being an NPC can be an easy way to get into roleplaying without having to invest too much into the new character. And if you like the NPC enough, then there's no reason why you can't change the NPC into a fully fledged playable character as long as they're not too powerful. Just remember, no matter how you have fun in LARP, it's just important that you do indeed have fun. So congratulations, now you know about NPCs in LARP.